All right, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for making time in your afternoon for us. This is my friend Karen Riley. She is a fellow artist and educator, and she operates a wonderful gallery called the Scrap Gallery. And we started talking a couple months back about we'd really like to do a series on Native American children's literature and art. Picking wonderful stories and doing art lessons to go with it. So this is the first in a series of 3. I think we actually have like 5 books picked out, but this is number 1. So this is our first go. This is also being recorded today, so I'll have that up as soon as I'm able to on our arts webinar. Actually, I'll probably create a little special page just for these, so you can find them really easily down the line. Click right here. Okay. So if I have it right here, I see 2 people right now. But my name is Louisa Higgins, and I'm with the Riverside County Office of Education. I'm the arts administrator, and my arts background is painting and also poetry. And as I said, this is my friend Karen Riley. Karen, you want to say hello and introduce yourself?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Karen Riley from the Scrap Gallery, which is the Student Creative Recycle Art Program. So you'll notice in your kit, there was a lot of odd little items to use, and that's usually what we do. We divert materials from the landfill, and we do environmental education through art. So
right. So yeah, that was such a fun kit that you put together, Karen. That was just beautiful. And I think that's the interesting part. It goes with the story about this young girl who is so ardently saving water and caring for the earth. And so that's a big part of Karen's art and what she promotes with students. So the goals of our workshop, we have 4 simple goals today, and one is to show you an arts integrated lesson. So that we have literature and we have art, but also talking about some social studies and some geography and some extension lessons that you can do with it. We're really promoting high interest reading materials, that as teachers we can select things that are very poignant, that are reflective of our students' culture, that are interesting stories, that are not the same old thing that we've been doing. Number 3, increasing cultural literacy through a story like this. And like I said, I'm not aware of that many series out there that are focusing on children's literature that's around Indigenous peoples. And so that's what we were trying to create. And finally, Riverside County Office of Education, one of our initiatives, and we represent about 430,000 students, is really that all children are literate by age 5. And so, of course, having culturally literate materials or culturally relevant materials and high interest stories really helps students get excited about reading. So those are our goals.
So November is Native American Indian Heritage Month. The Library of Congress, the National Archives and Records Administration, the National Endowment for the Humanities, National Gallery of Art, National Park Service, Smithsonian Institution, and the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum join in paying tribute to the rich ancestry and traditions of Native Americans.
Right, and so it's no surprise that we picked this month to launch. We're really excited. I think I actually wanted to send out the notice on November 1st, but it timed out so that we were doing it today. But yes, this is the month to really, feature this in the work we're doing in the arts and in classrooms. So November is the month. And just to give some examples of some really remarkable arts and literature, there's many examples that you could show. But the writing of Joe Haro, I invite you to check that out. The music of Carlos Nakai, the artwork of Alan Hauser. So there's just a tremendous volume of wonderfully talented artists that I would invite you to explore and perhaps present to your students.
And how we can celebrate. These are some ways we can celebrate Native American Heritage Month and kind of like kick off. I see Native American Heritage Month as a way for us to kick it off as a continuation of what we want to do. It should be more than a month, obviously. So this is like our kickoff and kind of the idea that Louisa and I have. So you can discover Native American artists, read Native American authors, listen to Native American music, and learn Native American history, which we will start today.
Great. So the book today that we're working with is, I'm just pulling this up. Hold on, let me admit somebody real quick. Here we go. Is We Are Water Protectors. So this is today's book for study. And I was actually turned on to this by my husband, who is originally Canadian, and he knew about this author and this book when it came out. And I just kind of fell in love with it. And the illustrations are just gorgeous. You'll see when we walk through the story that we just have snapshots of it, but the before, I bought this book before it became a Caldecott Award winner for the illustrations. So it's Michaela Goad. And it's really talking about water. And so you'll see that the illustrations really help tell the story as well. And so, oops, did I jump in where I wasn't supposed to? No, that's your slide, Karen. Okay, good. Okay.
So the author of this book is Carol Lindstrom, and she's a New York Times bestselling author, winner of the Caldecott, which Louisa just mentioned, and a proud member of the Turtle Mountain Band of Ojibwe. So thank you, Indians. And she was born and raised in Nebraska and currently makes her home in Maryland. And it's interesting, she wanted to be a part of Standing Rock. So, and although she lives in Maryland, this is kind of her way by writing this book and telling the story of Standing Rock and the Black Snake. This was her way of participating.
Right, it's her activism.
Yes.
Here's Michaela, and so she's the one who won the Caldecott Medal for her work on the illustrations. And so you can see she's won or been participated in other books and also won prizes. And so she's really focused her work now on Indigenous Kids Lit. So she works with many Indigenous authors, and she is an enrolled member of several tribes in Alaska. I will not try and pronounce her name correctly, so I don't think I'll get it right. But you can see she's the gal in the background, and she must be a little shy like me because she's posing behind her paintbrushes. Karen, can you give background on this story that we're going to do?
Sure, absolutely. So we've all heard of Standing Rock and the Dakota Access Pipeline, or the Bakken Pipeline, and it's 1,172-mile long underground oil pipeline in the United States. It begins in the shale oil fields in northwest North Dakota, and it continues through South Dakota and Iowa to an oil terminal near Patoka, Illinois. Protests of the Dakota Access Pipeline occurred at several places because of concerns about the pipeline's impact on the environment and sites sacred to Native Americans. Indigenous nations around the country opposed the pipeline, along with the Sioux tribal nations. In North Dakota, next to and on the Standing Rock Indian Reservation, nearly 15,000 people from around the world protested, staging a sit-in for months. And I think what's very moving, besides the activism, is that Standing Rock, the activism started with young people. And so this is near and dear to who we work with. And I think it really is a way to encourage young people of all ages to know that they can have a positive effect on what's happening in their lives and the environment. So we're really pleased that we're able to talk about this project through this book with you.
Right, and it certainly is a natural tie-in to the history of what happened at Standing Rock. And so the people, the culture that we're featuring here is the Ojibwe peoples, and they're also known by other names, but they are, you can see on the map the geography, they're in southern Canada and north Midwest, and they're one of the largest tribal populations among Native American people. So it's a good place for us to start with our series.
All right, we're gonna do a close read, and we're gonna go over the story here.
We probably won't do a lot. We're going to read the story to you in case you don't have the book. And we figured if you enjoyed the presentation, you would certainly go out and buy the book to use with your own students. So we'll go ahead and read it. We won't spend a lot of time on the close read as far as answering questions, but we wanted you to hear the whole story this afternoon. So here we go.
Water is the first medicine, Nokomis told me. We come from water. It nourished us inside our mother's body. As it nourishes here on Mother Earth, water is sacred, she said.
We stand with our songs and our drums. We are still here. The river's rhythm runs through my veins, runs through my people's veins. My people talk of a black snake that will destroy the land. Spoil the water, poison plants and animals, wreck everything in its path.
When my people first spoke of the black snake, they foretold that it wouldn't come for many, many years. Now the black snake is here. Its venom burns the land, courses through the water, making it unfit to drink.
Take courage. I must keep the black snake away from my people's water. I must rally my people together. To stand for the water, to stand for the land, to stand as one against the black snake. We stand with our songs and our drums. We are still here. It will not be easy. I feel like I jumped ahead on some slides. Why don't you take this, Karen? Take it from here. Sorry.
We fight for those who cannot fight for themselves, the winged ones, the crawling ones, the four-legged, the two-legged, the plants, trees, rivers, and lakes. The earth, we are all related. Tears like waterfalls stream down, tracks down my face, tracks down my people's faces.
Water has its own spirit, Nakomi told me. Water is alive. Water remembers our ancestors who came before us, she said. We stand with our songs and our drums. We are still here. We are stewards of the earth. Our spirits have not been broken. We are water protectors. We stand. The black snake is in for the fight of its life.
So where do you see social emotional learning? Family, water remembers our ancestors. The water nourished us inside our mother's body, a protectiveness towards nature. We fight for those who cannot fight for themselves.
And please feel free to put in the chat if you see other ways that this story is social and emotional. Certainly the little girl, how she is so fierce and so adamant about her desire to protect the water. There's a lot of family happening in this story. So I think it's a real opportunity in reading this book, besides doing close reading and asking questions about what children notice, that social and emotional aspect of the story. The other thing that comes to mind when you're first working with this book, and of course I naturally have a positive bias towards poetry, but could we do a poetry extension activity with this story? Because this phrase is repeated 3 times, you might have noticed. We stand with our songs and our drums, we are still here. What is the meaning behind that little stanza that keeps being repeated in the story? And how could we make this a basis for a class poem or even individual poems by students?
So here's the part where we get to use our hands. In your kit, you're going to see all kinds of materials to use. And we have some examples that we did previously. And what we did is we created collages with just materials that are easily available: paper, cardboard. At the scrap gallery, like I said, we divert materials from the landfill, so we get all kinds of odds and ends of things. So it doesn't necessarily have to be fancy art materials. It can just be a piece of cardboard, colored paper. I think I put bugle beads because someone donated bugle beads. It just depends on what we get here, and that's kind of what we encourage you to use what you have, and then to create a collage that represents to you the water, maybe show movement. I think in ours we used, I used some plastic pieces. I was the bottom one. I used some plastic wrap that was covering for something to give it a little more dimension, but really we want you to do whatever you feel represents water. And Louisa will play a little music, and if the music bothers you, then you can turn it down. We're going to do it for about 15 minutes, and then we're going to share your work. If you would like to share your work, we'd love to see what you come up with. So Louisa, take it away.
Okay, and so this is our art time. I'm going to set the timer for 15 minutes. And again, I encourage you in your use of color and in your use of how do the materials move. So I put up 4 different examples of water, either waves or serene or splashing or falling. So think about how you'd like to express that. And I'll stop the screen share, and then I'm going to play Ojibwe music for you. And that we located that on Spotify. So that's your background music if you choose it. Otherwise, please choose something that is fun for you to do art with, gives you that flow and that creativity. Karen and I have promised that we are both working on a new piece ourselves at the same time, so that when we get to the 15-minute end of our work time, we can share our work. So I will go ahead and stop sharing and put on our music, and we will see what everyone does in the next 15 minutes. All right, so that was the 10 minutes, and I just saw the note from Gina, can't hear the music. Could anyone hear the music? Was I the only one? I'm so sorry. Let me just see.
It was good.
We
We listened to it yesterday.
doggone it. You know, anyway, I'm sorry about that. I promise you, if you look up Ojibwe music on Spotify, and there's probably lots of places you can find it, I just know it would be so enjoyable for the students. I was listening away, and it was very inspiring. Lesson, so I guess you'll have to take my word for it on this one until I learn how to play True Gum, do a PowerPoint, and play music at the same time. But so this is the time we'd like to do our gallery walk. If you are interested in sharing your piece, I know I guess I'll have to take my background. Why don't you go ahead and share yours, Karen? I'm going to take my virtual background off. Oh, very nice. What was your inspiration? What were you going for?
I was going for mountains and water and sky. And it's not put down smoothly. It's very rough and torn, because that's what I wanted, textural, so it had some movement in the water.
Right.
Yeah. And then I put a little bling in at the top just for Louisa. Because
I'll put some sparkles up there. Okay.
Yeah, that's why there's sparkles in your kit.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, no, it was interesting. And I don't know if you all know this. Karen kind of ruined my day one time. We were doing a project, and she had glitter, and she's like, glitter is not recyclable. I'm like, what? I have used glitter for years. It's made out of plastic. Like, it's not biodegradable or recyclable. So just FYI. I have the virtual screen on, so I'm not pointing, but I wrote water, and I was drawing water, and I was having fun.
I mean, you can buy, if you can find environmental biodegradable glitter, but you have to source that. Regular glitter is made out of plastic. Yeah.
Can you put that on my Christmas list?
You can also make your own glitter out of hole punches and leaves.
That's a good idea.
Great idea.
I love that. That's great, Erin. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Kim, do you have anything to share?
I do.
Oh, wow. Isn't that neat?
Oh, that's nice.
I love what you did with the ribbon as the mountains. And then what is that? Crushed up confetti like for the river?
Yes. Yep.
And Kim is up by Mammoth. So she's definitely inspired by nature all the time.
Yeah.
Wonderful job. Great job, Kim. Elizabeth, did you have something you wanted to share with us? You're muted, just FYI.
Okay. I don't know if it's going to stay up as I put it up. It's a way.
Oh, I like that. Oh,
That's
yes.
neat. I love how you made the beads, the mist, and the droplets.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Right.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Love that, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Excellent work.
15-minute.
Right? It's,
That's
you know,
good.
it's funny. I wish I would just build this into my day regularly, like sit down and make art. And I told Karen, I can't teach and make art. She's like, you must. So I think we should all try and do this as much as we can, time allowing. Erin, did you have something to share?
Too. I'm not sure it's gonna stay up
Gosh.
either.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Oh, wow. And Mrs.
Can you
Lipstick.
tell what I was going for?
Oh, we both have two errands. I'm so sorry. I'll be
Oh, okay. So how about Erin
Sorry,
Renee
I was like, oh, cool.
and
Louise.
then Erin Lipsitz? I know, but oh gosh, I'm distracted. There's too much good stuff. Okay, Erin Renee, tell us what you're going for. Is that a water?
It's supposed to be a water droplet
Wow.
splashing. And then, you know, the nourishment of the water makes the green grass grow or the life grow.
That's pretty
Yes.
amazing. Erin, I don't think we've ever seen a 3D option
No,
like
I love
that
it.
before.
No, we
That's
have
incredible.
it.
Wow,
First
Love
one,
it.
yay.
it is. All right, and Erin Lipsitz,
There you go. There and back.
there
Okay,
you go.
I think it's gonna stay. I had problems with that whole glittery one or the shiny one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and did you take the green tissue and, oh, that's the yarn. Okay. Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, neat. And were you depicting like like lily pads or what are you?
No, I was thinking about like when you're on top of really clear water,
Mhm.
how some of the plants below it, they like, you can actually, they almost look like flowers underneath it. So my perspective was like, this is what I see when I was in the ocean. And then I used the, I had that string of little fuzzy beads
Mhm.
with balls, and I just cut them all up and then they kind of became like the little life. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Definitely.
really interesting. Oh, I see. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
And I don't think
interesting.
I've ever done a collage. As I was doing it, I was like, I don't think I've ever done this, and this is really cool. I should probably do this more often.
I think two things about collage. Collage is really friendly if you feel like, oh, gee, I'm not an artist because it's assembling things. And Karen, one of the things that's happening in my county, in Riverside, they've had the man go out and substitute teach. So because I teach the arts, I roll in, we're doing theater, we're dancing, we're singing, we're making art, whatever. So I rolled in with the arts, bats and science kit, art and science with bats. And we did collage. Oh my gosh, we had the best time. We put the music on. And at first we talked about bats and did the science piece and then we made it. But collage is just so friendly for any level. And I also love I don't like teachers to have to buy things that are expensive and the fact that you can find recycled things. And actually Karen and I, based on this experience, we're going to create a flyer and have class kits where we can mail you a box of recycled materials if you're doing this with a group to encourage that. If you're thinking, oh, gee, I don't have time to put all this stuff together, but scissors and glue, and then the fun stuff. And I also love it that it's accessible. So art does not have to be expensive and everyone has access to it. And found materials, in all the years I've been working in the arts, all the young artists I knew, would find pieces of wood or things out in the desert and recycle them, bring them in. And so I got turned on to that concept early. So let me go back to our screen. Anybody else want to take camera off and show us what they did? I'm so inspired. As somebody said, put yours up again, Karen.
Mine?
Yes, Gina would like to see yours again.
Okay.
Gina, can you see that?
No, not yet. Maybe because she's not talking.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. You see that?
Okay,
And
that's
it's
awesome.
it's a piece of cardboard packaging.
Cool.
Or you could cut up a box. I mean, I've done that too. Yeah.
Oh, great. Elva, did you have one to share with us?
Yeah, but it was drying, so like pieces are coming off, but it was supposed to be the water and coursing through, and then it was a big big black piece of ribbon, so I incorporated it.
Oh,
that
you
in
did
there
the
because
snake.
Corey
Oh, you
says
had
it
you-
coursed
Oh, nice.
through.
I didn't know there was a snake in the box. That looks great.
Mine had it, and so I thought, oh, it's supposed to be like the snake, so I had it coursing through the water.
Oh, you had the lucky box. Yeah, good for you. That's great. Oh my goodness. Gina, did you have a work that you wanted to share with the group?
I did. I didn't get a box, so I just had some paper. And
Oh, look at you.
so what was amazing though, when I was tearing this, some of the sheets made their own little, the layers, different layers, and it was actually fun and relaxing.
That came out beautifully.
Oh, thank you. And I'm at work. I took some time off to do this, but I was like, this would be a great project for the rest of our staff to do.
Right?
Take 15 minutes and do something creative.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
know,
thank you.
us grown-ups, we need to do art too. We need to make some time. And I find ripping very therapeutic.
Oh gosh, yes.
Component to ripping things and tearing and manipulating with your hands, right? So that's good for everybody. And of course, depending on the grade level you teach, you might realize, you know, third grade social studies curriculum, you could definitely do something Tide Water Cycle in with this. So let me bring back up our PowerPoint. And please mute yourself because I'm getting a little bit of echo. Somebody. Okay, so we did our gallery walk. So just in closing, to go back to what our goals are in creating this is integrating arts and literature, sharing interesting stories, having cultural literacy present. So we're creating appreciation and understanding of Native American culture and supporting reading development in young people. And here's some resources. They're also in the kit of extension activities to do with this. And also, if you email Karen, I'm sure she could turn you on to those as well. There's just, once you get going, there's just so much extension-wise you can do with this. And that is the team I work with. So we have that at the end of all of our slides. So we have somebody that works in all of the different subject matter areas. And the survey link, I'll have my secretary send to you tomorrow. She is off today. So I think that is the end of our presentation, but Karen and I would love to hang out and hear your ideas, because we can always add that to the next session that we're doing and answer any questions. So appreciate you being here today, everybody.
I want to say thank you. I appreciate it. I am going to go finish my report cards.
Oh my goodness. All right, Erin. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much for everything. Love the ideas. I'm going to share with my class tomorrow.
Oh, excellent, Pilar. Send me pictures if you think about it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I wanted to share you guys because I'm on the road.
Oh my gosh.
I
Hey, don't
pulled
crash
over
your
to
car.
do it. I did it.
Wow.
Oh, wow, you did. That's awesome.
That's dedication.
That's total dedication.
Yeah, way to
I have
go,
to show them what
Pilar.
I'm going to do before I do it. And I'm like,
Awesome.
you know what? It was
So
fun.
I'd love to see a picture if you do it with your class.
We'll
This
Okay.
is Gina. I just
Okay.
wanted to say thank you. Thank you. I'm an enrolled member of the Big Pine Paiute tribe of the Owens Valley. So I'm up here right next to the Eastern Sierras by Kim, and not too far from Mammoth Mountain. But, you know, being Native American, I just really appreciate, you know, what you guys have put together, and I'll send you some ideas. We did the Girl Who Loved Wild Horses, and when you, not necessarily that we did it here, but in my arena, but when I was teaching, we did that, and I'd love to share that with you as well.
Yeah, we would love to have you as a resource, Gina. And like I said, we had the idea, we got started. We have one coming about the Choctaw Nation called Salty Pie. And I know the author of the book, he's a storyteller and is from that nation. And so, and then I think the one after is Arrow to the Sun. And there's just, as we go,
yeah.
there's more and more. And just to really make a place for that literature, and that we want teachers to feel comfortable starting to recognize the stories, culture. Yeah, so
Definitely, and just a little tidbit for them to make sure they're researching their local Native tribes.
yes,
Yeah,
yes, that's certainly the standard, the educational standard, absolutely.
right.
So for me, I'm in the desert, so we are Kauai here, and grew up here, and I was always aware of it. It was very well known, and they are in the process. The tribe is building a museum finally after years and years. I
Oh,
was on the
yes.
education committee, but they're building it. It's happening, and they're trying to preserve the language. And so, yeah, it's very important to Karen and I, and we welcome your input and advice, Gina.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
You
Kim.
too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.